illegal immigrants crossing into the United States. But did you know that the Biden administration's suspension on building isn't saving any money? No money at all. It's actually costing taxpayers $2 billion. $2 billion, about $3 million of a day. Construction workers have been hired to build the wall, but they're now being paid to babysit the materials instead of finishing construction. Hillary Vaughn is on Capitol Hill with the details for us. Hillary.
Well, Jackie, President Biden hitting pause on constructing the border wall is still costing taxpayers while a lot of equipment and supplies sit stagnant. A report from Republicans on the Border Management Senate subcommittee dug into the numbers and discovered that putting construction on hold has cost $2 billion so far this year and is continuing to cost $3 million a day. When Biden took office, there were 211 miles of border wall going up in border towns, but those projects have been at a standstill under Biden. The contractors, though, are still getting paid to drive out to the project site and basically guard pallets of steel and other construction equipment sitting vacant. The Biden administration says canceling the wall is actually saving taxpayer money. A spokesperson with the Office of Management and Budget giving me this statement, quote, "We take our obligation to be responsible stewards of taxpayer dollars seriously, which is why we are stopping the prior administration's wasteful expenditure of $15 billion on a needless wall and are returning remaining military funds." Jackie.
Hillary Vaughn, thank you so much for that. Let's dig a little deeper into this with Florida Republican Cammack from Homeland Security. Great to see you. Let's go ahead and start with that $2 billion figure, because I think this is really important. When the Trump administration was leaving, it had earmarked, it had appropriated $2 billion to finish the wall. The Biden administration now taking that money to, as Hillary said, babysit the materials so that they're not stolen here, but not finish the wall. And you had the statement from the OMB person saying, no, what we're doing is trying to save the taxpayer money.
Well, it's kind of comical that the Biden administration all of a sudden wants to care about the fiscal responsibility side of governing. There's absolutely nothing about the Biden administration that says we care about taxpayer dollars, as evidenced by their incredible bloated spending packages. But let me be clear, they are all about babysitting. They want the contractors to go babysit materials, and they want Border Patrol to go babysit and process illegals that have come across. This has absolutely nothing to do with saving taxpayer dollars. In their justification for canceling this most recent 31 miles of wall along the border, they cited environmental concerns. So they need to get their story straight. Is this an environmental concern, or are we about saving taxpayer dollars? Because I can tell you, I have talked to so many Border Patrol agents in the hundreds, and not one agent has told me that they don't think that the wall is a good thing. In fact, they say this is a force multiplier. This is something that we absolutely need because we are so short on agents. We need the wall, which they don't even call a wall down there. It's the levee, because it also controls flooding in a region where 250,000 people in the RGV sector are suspect to flooding out the neighborhoods if that wall, or levee as they call it, is not completed.
And it's really sad because by stopping construction, what you've actually done is create a situation in the border states that is really untenable at this point, with the officials there being, essentially run over by migrants crossing into this country illegally.
Absolutely.
And what's interesting here is that you've got, red states on the border, for example, like Texas. It's like every man for themselves. Like they're fighting almost or against the federal government. And you've got Greg Abbott, talking about this, what the federal government wants to do and what Texas needs to do. Listen to this.
Yeah.
Do we have that sound?
We're not playing games anymore. I've deployed the National Guard as well as the Texas Department of Public Safety, and we have a new program in place because the Biden administration plan is to catch and release. The Texas plan is to catch and to jail. So we are arresting and jailing. The program has already begun. When you come across the river, you're typically coming into private property or county property or state property. You are trespassing, and because I declared it an emergency, the punishment for the crime has been doubled.
So for the people who believe in open borders, as the governor said, no, it's illegal and you are trespassing.
Yes. And I can't tell you how critical that move by Governor Abbott was. In the last 24 hours, have spoken with Texas DPS, with Border Patrol. They're thrilled that they are finally able to enforce the laws. They're finally able to do something to stop this flow. And just a few hours ago, Catholic Charities announced that they are at capacity So any illegals that are apprehended are now being released after testing by the city of Laredo, and they are free to walk wherever they want to go at their own expense because NGOs are now officially at capacity. This is a crisis. And that border wall is so critical as a force multiplier to help our Border Patrol agents who have been demoralized. They've had their hands tied behind their back. They need this. And again, this is just another example of the Biden administration breaking its contracts that it has with these contractors, really going against their oath of office to uphold all the laws of the land. They have a political agenda and they're executing it at the expense of Americans.
In the last minute that I have with you, I just want to talk about two other issues and get your response. First, we look at the drug seizures, the amount of drugs coming across the border. Take a look at this. In thousands of pounds, that's what we're talking about when it comes to cocaine, for example. 62,324 pounds of cocaine. That was in 2021, year to date so far. Fentanyl, more than 6,000 pounds. Heroin, more than 3,000 pounds. And I'll add another to this, as we're talking about all of these restrictions from COVID-19 to our own citizens, to vaccinated people might have to start remasking or whatever. You've got people coming into this country with COVID, not being tested, put on buses, and shipped to all different states.
Yes, every town in America is a border town. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, having been on the border 2 weeks ago with my sheriffs, that fentanyl, that cocaine, that methamphetamine, that is landing in my district. It's landing in every district around America. In fact, the fentanyl that was confiscated, over 1,000 pounds in June alone, was enough to kill every man, woman, and child in the state of Florida 10 times over. My sheriff in my district showed a picture of some kilos of fentanyl that had been seized in our hometown to HSI, the Homeland Security Investigations Unit. They said that stamp on that kilo belonged to a border cartel. Believe me, it is coming to a town near you, and you cannot begin to protect your hometowns if we cannot defend the homeland. That is why border security is a top priority for Republicans and conservatives. And if Biden won't do it, we damn sure will.
Great to see you, Congresswoman Kat Cammack. Really sad that those drugs are going to kill our children. It's just, it's horrific. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.